We are joined for more on this discussion by Gilbert Doctorow, Russian affairs expert, joining us from Brussels, and Professor Alexei Haran, Professor of Comparative Politics at the University of Kiev, Molya, joining us from Kiev. Thank you very much for joining us. Gilbert Doctorow, I wanted to come to you first, and from your perspective, how credible do you find this accusation that a senior Ukrainian intelligence official was working as a Russian agent?
Well, anything is possible. So if they had been following him, I assume they had good reason. But I think it's just a minor point in the day's news. What happened in the Putin talks with Donald Trump is a completely different scale of importance.
We will move on to that very shortly. Professor Alexei Haran, can I get your thoughts on this accusation that a top Ukrainian anti-terror official was working as a Russian agent?
Well, it's difficult to comment because we have only official commentary about that. So, look, just one thing I would like to say: he is the former head of anti-terrorist group. It's not right now. It was previously. Okay? So, well, nothing to add, basically.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to Gilbert Doctorow, and we will move on to European powers asking for inclusion in talks with Ukraine. What are the potential benefits and challenges of both Ukraine and European powers being included in these peace negotiations? Gilbert Doctorow, your thoughts?
I think the chances of that happening are negligible. It was very clear, not only from the context of Mr. Trump's hour and a half discussion with Vladimir Putin, but it was in the context also of the remarks of the U.S. Secretary of Defense Peteksev that Europe will have no seat at the table. Ukraine will have no seat at the table. That this is a big powers discussion between the United States and Russia, in which Ukraine is one element and only one element of the subjects for discussion. And that was clear by Mr. Trump's description of their discussion in his Truth Social internet platform. This was among issues like artificial intelligence and how the United States and Russia should resume the kind of cooperative relationship they had in World War II, when Russia was the single largest contributor in deaths, and that means in fighting the Nazi armies in Europe. So the relationship was put in a very broad context for which the Europeans have no place at the table.
Professor Haran, I want to get your thoughts on this. Is there room for Ukrainian powers, European powers, at the table in these negotiations? And are you concerned about Ukraine's potentially not having a seat at the table in these negotiations?
Well, but first of all, I would like to correct both Mr. Trump and Mr. Doctorow if we are talking about the role in World War II. It wasn't Russia. The country was called the Soviet Union, and actually most of those people who died were from Ukraine and Belarus, and that's why after creation of the United Nations, Ukraine and Belarus received several special seats in the United Nations. So we should differentiate between Russia and the Soviet Union. Now, basically, answering your direct question is, yes, we are disturbed. Definitely, there are some dangerous signs. But I need to say that from our point of view, the policy of Trump is still in the process of formation. So we'll see how it will evolve. And if we are talking, about direct negotiations between United States and Russia, yes, there are dangers here, because we do not want to come to the world when the future of the world is decided by two countries. And I think for Indian audience, it's very clear and important. So we participate in this discussion by having our calls with Mr. Trump, his administration, and also there is a plan for President Zelensky to meet a lot of members of Trump team at the Munich Security Conference, and there is a plan also for a meeting between Zelensky and Trump. So if we are not directly involved, at least we have the room to discuss it with our allies.
My sincerest apologies, gentlemen. We have run out of time for that segment. Thank you very much, Gilbert Doctorow, and thank you very much, Professor Haran, for joining us.